In 2019 and 2020, Oregon's legislature made national headlines when Republican lawmakers held up a controversial bill by not coming to work.
I beg and beseech my fellow legislators to come to the floor. The people of Oregon need you.
I did not expect to face a constitutional crisis in which so many of our colleagues simply decide to stop showing up for work until they get their way.
This election, Oregon's Measure 113 will decide whether it should be harder for lawmakers to shut down the legislature with walkouts. Let's rewind to 2019. Oregon Democrats had just taken supermajorities in both the House and Senate, which, combined with the Democratic governor, would have allowed the majority party to pass any bill, even new taxes, without any Republican support. But Republicans found a loophole. Oregon's constitution requires that a quorum of at least 2/3 of lawmakers be present in order to conduct business. That's a far larger margin than many other states, which only require simple majorities. The high bar for quorum means that a minority party can bring legislative action to a halt by boycotting a session. Oregon Democrats used this tactic in 2001 to block a Republican majority in the House from creating new legislative districts. In 2019 and 2020, Oregon Republicans used the same tactic to stymie bills aimed at fighting climate change. It's those more recent events that now have Democrats and their allies arguing that walkout tactics are derailing the democratic process. They say Measure 113 will change that. If it passes, state lawmakers who have 10 or more unexcused absences within a single legislative session would be barred from seeking re-election during the next term. They'd also be barred from running for office in the other legislative chamber, so a state representative could not run for the Senate and vice versa. If the measure fails, the state constitution stays the same and walkouts remain a viable tactic. Supporters of the measure, such as public sector unions, say ending walkouts will allow lawmaking to proceed as intended. They say that lawmakers who don't show up for work should lose their jobs. Opponents say walkouts are a feature of the Oregon Constitution, allowing minority parties a last resort option to limit the power of the majority. The approach taken in Measure 113 comes with some wrinkles. Since it's based on unexcused absences, it could still allow for walkouts of up to 9 days. The measure could also hand inordinate power to the House Speaker and Senate President, the two influential lawmakers who currently decide which absences count as excused. In the end, voters will answer a pressing question this fall. Are legislative walkouts a safeguard against abuse by the majority party or a threat to democracy?
Stay informed on important issues facing Oregon and Southwest Washington thanks to member support. You can find more election coverage and join OPB as a sustaining member at opb.org.